to solve a Rubik's Cube. Above all else, what it takes to solve a Rubik's Cube is muscle memory, your brain being one of them. It's, we're not the first people to solve one, we're not the last person to solve one. It's been solved before. A lot of people much smarter than us have figured it out, and figured out a pretty great way to lower the floor and make it more beginner friendly for anyone who wants to jump into it. The background of the slide shows the certain ways you can move a Rubik's Cube if you hold it stationary how you have it, such as towards you, the top, the bottom, the front face, the back face, left face. The first one would be the right face. You got right, which would be counterclockwise on the right side, right inverse, counterclockwise on the right side. Left would be clockwise on the left side, left inverse, counterclockwise. You probably assume the same for back, front, and up, where the front, or the standalone letter is clockwise, and then the inverse being counterclockwise. Each one of these certain turns for the Rubik's Cube, or permutations they're called, is what makes up the algorithm, which is essentially what is committed to memory, which is essentially a series of turns that you would commit to memory to solve the Rubik's Cube, or a Rubik's Cube. It's an algorithm and it sounds fancy, but really it's just because it's a solved, methodical way to do something, such as doing right, up, left, front. That's just a random one, but that's a sort of method you would use, making it an algorithmic approach. The cube works by connecting 27 smaller cubes to a sphere on the inside of this. This means that the centerpiece of each face never moves. When you rotate the cube, each piece moves around it. This centerpiece, this orange piece, never moves, no matter what turn I make. It's always staying the same. Any other piece might move, but that orange piece will always be where it's at, assuming I'm not personally moving the cube around like a madman. This is like an integral part to solving the cube because it shows that not all of it is random. Very little of it is random. It's all what you're doing with it, where you're putting what. Solve the first layer. You start with any color cross you'd like, then you work from there, and that's what you build your muscle memory off of. I was taught to solve with a white cross, so that's what I go on to do. Because of this concept of the middle pieces never moving, the white cross, or any cross in matches, aren't as simple as they might seem. Sure, this is good. In this case, it works out doubly so, because the white piece matches to the corresponding middle piece that it needs to. If it were like this is still a white cross, or at least a start to one, and it looks good, but here we have orange and green, and that's not solved. Here we have green and green, then white and white. And that's where we want to be. So after it becomes the white cross, to get your white cross with the correct corresponding sides. This is all very easy movements, no algorithms, just normal natural movements to create a simplistic white cross. Play with it long enough and you'll be able to get your correct size, you want to naturally finish the top by getting your corners in the correct spots. So although this corner looks correct, naturally it's not, because it's green and red, and this face isn't correct, nor this. So that's actually a green, red, and white corner, which would have to go over here with the green, red, and white sides. So I want to move it out, slide it away, and then return the cube to where it was, essentially, to have that piece just moved out of the way. I didn't mess up my white cross too badly. To move it into the corners, you place the piece below the desired location just by rotating it around. I have to find my red, white, and green corner, my red, white, and green corner right here. Place it below its desired location. Then in this case, I want to move it out of the way, move it into its spot, and then move it back up. Typically, you want to move it out of the way, bring down the top, and then move it back into its spot. In that last instance, moving it down and out of the way was one motion. The next white corner I see here is white, green, and orange. So I want to move it to below its spot, right here. Slide down the top, slide in my piece, and slide it back up. Two more corners, so I'm just looking for white corners anywhere. Here's one, here's two. Red, white, and blue here. So again, I want to move it. I want to get my white on the top, so I'm going to move it down, around, and if I move it back up, my white's here. So I need to come down again, move it out of the way, move it back up, and then put it below its desired spot, of course, always. Move it down, and move it back, move it back. Lastly, we've got the orange, blue, and white corner. It's on the bottom. We're going to go down. I'll go 2 steps out of the way to not move it back up this time. Up, just to have it on the face, not on the bottom. We're here. We're down. We're back. And then we're back up. Solve the right side and correctly. To solve the second layer, you have to flip the cube upside down, is the first thing you do. And then you create a column where the top side of the column is not yellow, because the yellow side needs to always be facing up regardless, and we're going to be essentially moving this piece into its necessary side. This piece is red and green, so I need to move it clockwise, and that's by following an algorithm here. It says up, right, up inverse, right inverse, up inverse, front inverse, up, front. Here we see my piece move from here to here. It's red and it's green. And it's time to move on to the next piece. I've got a blue here, so I'm going to make my blue column. It's blue and red, so I have to move it towards the red side. And follow the same algorithm. Up to right, up inverse, right inverse, up inverse, front inverse, up, front. Moving my blue and red piece to the blue and red sides. Here we have a blue and orange. So now I go up inverse, left inverse, up, left, up, front, up inverse, front inverse, always with the column facing me, and then here I am. So just this last piece, you see it's a green and an orange, so I need to move this into that spot so that I can create my column and follow the same algorithm. So I'll just do an up, right, inverse, up inverse, front inverse, up, front, to move a random piece that was yellow into that spot to create then a green column, green and orange, and move it where I need to. Using up inverse, right inverse, up inverse, front inverse, up, front, creating my bottom two layers successfully. Lastly is to solve the yellow top. Just like the white, you start by making a yellow cross, but it's not so easy this time. Rather, it's actually easier, but not so simple. It's algorithmic in the sense that when you get the cube to this state, you're either going to have 3 in a row, or this sort of L shape. Depending on the situation, it's a problem we've seen before. You follow the appropriate algorithm. Follow the one for the yellow backwards L, where facing me with the L in the corner, on top, yellow on top the entire time through until it's solved. We're going to go front, up inverse, right inverse, and then front inverse. Little typo there. This is just by following the algorithm, because a billion people have done it before us. That's all it takes. Had that not worked, it would have either given me a yellow horizontal bar, or again the L, and then I would just repeat the algorithm until it worked, or I would do the one for the yellow bar if a yellow bar came up. After the yellow cross is sorted, you need to fill in naturally your yellow corners. What you do is, of course, an algorithm. You go right inverse, up, right inverse. I'm just checking my notes down here to ascertain that here for it. So this will give you to where you've got one piece in the corner. When you have this, you're gonna put that piece in the bottom left corner with still the yellow side facing up, bottom left being as in towards you, left side, and then you'll repeat that algorithm once more. The right inverse up, right inverse. That'll give you a complete yellow top. Only thing to solve now is our sides. We have 3 blue here, so we'll put that on the blue side. Only thing to solve now is our center pieces. So, with the solved facing back, we'll reference the algorithm. Had these corners not been all solved for us nicely as it worked out, there would have been an algorithm to put in the middle here. But it worked out, and that frequently happens. That's how a lot of speed tubing and records are broken, are from a lot of luck regarding that, in the sense that you didn't have to do this certain algorithm or that certain algorithm, because it just fell in the right spot for you. So, with the solved facing back, as in facing away from you, every 3, I'm going to go front, up, left, right inverse, front, left inverse, right, up, front. What this does is it rotates each center piece clockwise 1 position. So I need to do it one more time to get the red into the red, the green into the green, and the orange into the orange. This blue, the one in back, stays the same. So one more time. Front,